Okay, today I'm going to be taking a look at a one chip. There's a lot of corrosion and rust on the sides here. The card connector doesn't look too great either. Capacitor area doesn't look too great. The RF port is rusted out. This chip doesn't look too bad. So yeah, the reason why I'm going to try to repair this and I'm going to go through a more extensive attempt at repairing this is because it's a one chip board. And one chips are actually more desirable, they're harder to find, they're rare, they're more valuable. So let's get into it. Got everything plugged up, and when I turn it on, I get a black screen. Now, I'm going to try to fiddle with it, see if I can get anything better than this. Yeah, all I get is a black screen. Oh, I actually got this, but that's not correct. So I get a lot of artifacts and a bad image. Let's see. I'm going to take some components off and try to clean up this board first. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is take off this cartridge connector because it's in bad shape. So let me pop that off. First I got to add more solder and then I'm going to desolder it. Okay, I'll take my desoldering gun and this thing. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. I get it in on pin 1. Now since this makes such a pleasant sound, I'll play it for you for a little bit. A couple of... and then I'll fast forward through this. Just rock it back and forth. I'm not actually pulling it, I'm just shaking it back and forth. Hopefully it should have come undone. I don't want to tear at this. I can press on this side. Of course it's not coming out. It is loose. Probably a pin or two that's still holding on. I see it's right here. Should be good now. See? Alright, the pin connector's out. Look, this is probably why it's not working. But yeah, I'm not done. Let's see what else we can get. I am going to replace this RF box anyway, so I may as well take that off too. I still haven't cleaned the board. Let's pull this off too. Oh, I didn't even get this suction, it just fell out. Okay, that's out. There's a lot of rust there too. So yeah, slowly but surely we're getting... Let me take the clock crystal out because there's a lot of rust on that. I'll put a new crystal on this board. Let me take that off. It's out. There's a lot of rust under there too. I should take these two chips off at least, because I gotta clean it. I'm gonna take these capacitors off. Take the caps off because those are in bad shape. In fact, I'm gonna take all the, yeah, I'm gonna take the capacitors off as well. These two, I could actually desolder them with the desoldering gun. Yeah, this board is in very bad shape. My desoldering gun is not cooperating anymore. Come on, don't do this to me. Let me clear up the desoldering gun. That's the one bad thing about the desoldering gun. There's a lot of maintenance to it. Alright, now get these out. Alright, just add some solder to both sides. Of course, the board is in such bad shape that it won't Solder won't stick to it. Just trying to add some solder first before I go in with a tweezer. I was in Seaside earlier. I had to race down back home. I was on a motorcycle, so I just beat the rain. I hear the rain outside right now. So it was a nice day. And I thought it was gonna rain. And luckily my day was over. By the time I decided to leave, I had enjoyed my day. You can see my hand is a different color because I had my motorcycle glove on and it didn't tan. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is off camera. Now that everything is off, everything that I want to initially take off is off. Actually, let me take this voltage regulator off too. Yep, it just slips out. Alright, so now off camera, I'm actually gonna wash this in the sink with some Dawn dish soap and probably a toothbrush or a scrub brush. Oh, let me take the reset off as well. I need to clean this board. I can't clean it with all these components. And now I noticed I missed the cap. Let me get that off. I might have to take some chips off. I don't really want to, but I'll do that as a last resort. So the board is still wet. It's actually soaking wet. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I'm just gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna touch it up some more because there's still some spots with rust in the corners here, and I'm gonna replace the caps. And I might actually take this chip off because there's a lot of rust in this area. I might take this chip off just to see what's under. I might even take both of them, see what's up. Okay, I did clean the board, but I want to get this chip off because there's some corrosion near it, and I want to see under this chip. I just want to take a peek under both these chips. Actually, let me take off one. May as well take them both off. Also off camera, I did remove the power port. I just thought I'd mention it. Okay, that one came off easy. Okay, in this like little area here, I see a little black spot. I don't know if it's making continuity. It just looks a little darker than normal. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over this board and try to clear up rust spots. So here's the board, how it came out. I cleaned up this area here. I re-washed everything. I took up the silk screen, like some of them silk screen, just check those traces. They're all making continuity, so everything is good there. I think everything is good, but I do see, I don't know, it's kind of dark in my room right now, my kitchen right now, but I see just a little dark spot right here in the middle. Let me zoom in. Where is it? A pointer tool, like right here. It looks a little dark. I might actually have to reflow this chip, or at least take this big chip off, this main one chip, remove it and check under it, because I've had one chip before where a chip or pin or two wasn't making continuity. So yeah, I'm trying to fix this console. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but I'm trying. So I got this UV paint. I'm gonna actually paint over where I removed the solder mask. I want to re-cover that up so it doesn't rust and get worse. So I'm gonna do that now. See if I can. They gave me no way to push this. Ooh, that's too much. Whoops. And on another note, I actually don't have a UV light, so I gotta wait for this to dry naturally. Let me get closer. Alright, it's not the greatest, but it's definitely going to be better than how I left it. Just leaving it open would have been worse, so I'll let it dry. Okay, so it's flat to the board, and it's not the greatest job, but it's definitely there, and it'll hold. It'll definitely hold. Okay, I got this 7805. I think this is a better version of the 7805. I'm not sure, but to put it in, I can't put it in because then I can't line it up with the hole in the heatsink. I have to actually put the heatsink on temporarily. Of course, that doesn't fit, so I did something wrong. I gotta lay these down. Hopefully that works. Of course it does not, because I'm just an awful tech. So let me adjust these caps. Okay, I just laid those two capacitors down. These can stay where they were. It's just these were hitting the bottom half of this heat sink here. Let's see. See, now it fits good. I actually need to put the heat sink on first. I lowered these two caps so the heat sink can clear. So I put this like this. You see, then I can measure the height of this. But let me screw this down. Let me screw this down with one screw just to hold that in place. So they're a bit long. Let me clip them. Put it this way so you can see. Oop, they went everywhere. Oh well. Actually, now that they're like this, I can make them like a little shinier. That's good. So I had a parts board here. I took off this connector. So now this one chip will have an ability to service that cartridge connector instead of having something like this. This thing is just rusted out, and if it's there, you can't pull this out. You can't service this. You have to just remove it, replace it. This way, you got the bracket there, and at the worst case scenario, you'll be able to desolder it out and replace it, but you might not have to, because usually the bottom half doesn't really get grungy. I also, from this other board, I had grabbed the clock crystal. So I'm gonna put the other one was rusty. I hope they're both 21. I think they are 22 megahertz or whatever it is. And I'm gonna solder both of these in place. Let me zoom in. That paint is still not dry. It's been about a few minutes, still hasn't dried. And this crystal can go in. So let's recap our work. We replaced all of these capacitors. All these capacitors I gotta put in the bracket. Replace the crystal. I still have the RF port, but the RF port can go last. If this thing doesn't work, that's the least of my worries. I do have to put in this back in. I don't know, it's kind of ugly. I don't know if I'm gonna reuse this one or take one off. I'll try to clean it, but that one looks kind of nasty. But I gotta put in the cartridge connector. Okay, the cartridge connector's in place, but it has to be soldered. So I gotta like tilt it over, hold it, and then see if I can get one. I don't have the dexterity for this. One on this side. Any one, come on. Okay, so now it won't go nowhere. It's not bad. I'll look at it closer off camera, but it looks good. Okay, now we got the car connector in, let's get the RF port in. Okay, so to get this in, I'm gonna put this in first, and then I'm gonna put the RF connector in, sandwich it in there, and then I'm gonna put some screws in and then solder everything. Okay, time to clear these pads. The rust came up pretty good. I mean, I got as much as I can. There's still some like little dots inside here, but that's okay. I'm actually gonna go down instead of across. I'll just go lightly because I don't want to take off the UV paint, or that, whatever it's called. These RAM chips, I'm gonna take some off a different board. I got some in the parts box that I'm gonna take it out and use those instead of the ones that were already here. All right. It looks good. Let me try it. After swapping the two VRAMs and all the capacitors, all the chips, I still haven't put the reset switch in. This is the best I get. Now even right now, the controller port is empty. But even with the controller, it locks up at this screen. This is the best I can get it to get. And the timer at the bottom is not moving and I can't scroll. So it's stuck. And then if I try to turn it off, wait a second till it gets to the no signal screen and turn it back on. Oh, that time it actually went back. But usually when I like turn it on and off, I get just a black screen. But now it's actually, it seems like it cycles every time. Well, see, I get screens like this. So my guess is the CPU, the main chip might have some corrosion under it. I see some corrosion, like I'll shut this off. And I looked into these like section here, like right there. You can see immediately that there's like a brown section. So that brown section might be affecting something on the bottom of the chip. Like the traces that come off. The traces that come off the chip might be okay, but the traces that go underneath the chip, there might be some rust or corrosion under there. Another fail point of these consoles is this main APU chip. Now this is hard to find because usually all the other Super Nintendos, they either use like one of these box things or they have two chips separate, two audio chips, and then RAM chips separately. So when they said one chip, when they released the one chip, they were serious. They had one chip here and one chip here. So I'm gonna take this off and see what's under it. Okay. I'm looking under here, it doesn't look too bad. The spot with the corrosion is over here, but even that, I don't think that would cause anything. Let me try to clean it up with some solder wick, because I gotta put that chip back on anyway. So let's see what I can do. But yeah, I might not be able to fix this console, which is unfortunate. I could try to go down to the shop and see if my buddy has a CPU, a board that I can use for parts, like a Super Nintendo Junior board. That'll work. And then I could use the CPU from that and put it here and try it if the CPU is fried. I mean, he did have a board for me last year or a year ago or so. I didn't go and get it because I actually did solve the problem without the need of it. So I'm hoping he still has it on hand. If not, I'm bound to come buy one. Yeah, I wish I can fix everything, I just can't. I'm not that good. Okay, those are clear. I'm gonna take a look at this spot in question up a little closer in a second. Oh, this wick is getting hot on my finger. Hold on a second. I'm wiping the solder on my tip of my iron on that copper sponge right next to my coffee. I'm hoping that nothing is going inside the cup. Come on, what's going on with this? Oh, let me cut that off. Cut that off. Be a better part. I want these super clean because I've been at this console, well, not for a day or anything. I've only been working on it for maybe a couple hours in total, but I've done a lot of work on it. So I want to make sure that since I put in so much time already, I may as well do a good job and try to actually get it working in the end. But the light at the end of the tunnel is starting to get dark. I don't think this console's gonna work. I could also try the RAM, the work RAM chip, this big RAM chip on the side here, and hopefully that'll work. If not, then I could also do the APU. But from the issues that I'm getting, it doesn't look like APU. It looks like circuitry, like main circuitry problems. Okay, I tested continuity from these points over to the RAM circuitry, and they all test fine. Now on the legs, this color here, this discoloration here that you're seeing on the chip legs, they had the same discoloration. So I'm thinking maybe there is continuity, but there was a break between the pin and the chip leg, causing like some interference and causing it not to boot. So what I'm thinking is taking a fiberglass brush and just scratching it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna use almost no pressure here. I just want to clear up a little bit. And there are a few pins that are like this on this board that I will address. This is really the only thing I can think of. Okay, I mean, as you can see, there's definitely making contact. Let me put the chip back on and see if it fixes the problem, but everything else seems okay under there. That chip, there's no problems. Okay, I got the chip aligned. Now I really don't want to mess with that. It took me more time than normal, longer than usual to line this up. And there's really no big pad that I can work with. So I just gotta really be gentle. That's not working. It's not working. I'm gonna mess this up. I know it. I just feel that I'm gonna mess this up. Come on, stop going to the bottom of the iron. Okay, that's one. I need one more. Alright, it's not pretty. It's not pretty, but it's locked in. It's not pretty, but it's locked. Right, let me zoom out a little bit. There. Now we go no clean. And right here, this chip, these pins here were a little brown. I tried to clean them up with some alcohol, but they wouldn't. They were too oxidized. So I'm gonna go over with the iron a couple more passes over in this section here, just to get the oxidation off. And what helps with oxidation is a little bit of flux. The rosin flux would be even better, but I don't really want that sticky mess on this board right now. Alright, I'm gonna check for bridges, clean it, and test it. Okay, after swapping the CPU, I still get this. So yeah, I'm almost about done with this console. It's not gonna work, I don't think. I'm gonna swap the RAM, the work RAM chip off camera, see if it works. I'll get back to you. Okay, I replaced the work RAM. I cleaned the cartridge connector. I washed it with dish soap, Dawn dish soap, and a toothbrush. I also re-washed the board and I let it dry for about an hour and a half. And let's try it now. Oh, the clock is actually ticking now. I don't have a controller port. Let me connect the controller port and try it again. Okay, I'm actually really excited. I genuinely didn't. Oh dang. I have no reset switch. And it's still giving me a little bit of issues. But I'm getting there. Getting there, there we go, finally. I'm still getting a little bit of issues, but it's something. Oh? VRAM low failed. So what's the VRAM low? Let me double check what VRAM low is, because I think it's one of these chips. I'm getting close. Give me a second. Okay, I want to test it with a game first. Okay, it has sound, so the sound chip is working. And we get a screen like this. I've never seen a screen like this. But you know where I did see? I personally haven't seen a screen like this, but I think that guy's website and my notes had a problem like this, had a similar issue like this. Like, you see how the graphics, they're not flipped around, but they're actually like in negatives, and this looks like video RAM problems, but the game looks like it's running. We're so close. We're so close. Okay, I was down on my luck, but now it seems like my luck is turning around. I think it's U5. I'm isolating the problem to around this chip. It's not hot. Pressing on it doesn't do anything. Doesn't change anything. People say pressing on chips helps. I've never had an instance where pressing on a chip did anything. So let me tinker around, see what's up. Okay, so what I've done was I reflowed this chip really well. I reflowed the bottom half of this chip and some pins on the sides here. And let's see what happens. First things first, I know Mario Kart was giving me issues. Oh, let's go. Well, let me get a controller board. I can't believe I fixed this. Okay, I got a controller board. I genuinely cannot believe I fixed this. I mean, it was giving me so much issues. Alright, let me try the burn-in test cartridge, because doesn't mean it's fixed. But it was definitely finicky on the cartridge connector. Everything is much more responsive. Oop, wrong test. I still gotta put the reset switch in. So I actually have to reset it like that. So yeah, this thing is working, and it's not finicky. I'm messing with the cartridge connector. The cartridge rather, and it's still playing. Before, it was so finicky. So I do recommend you guys get some dish soap and water and clean the bracket and the cartridge connector. Just take a toothbrush and just scrub inside the cartridge contacts and on both sides. Like for instance, I'll show you. Look how shiny this is. So you take a toothbrush and scrub that, and then scrub the bottom half, and it should work more reliably. Forget about that boiling in the water. That doesn't work. Just clean it with dish soap, but make sure it dries first before you try it. So yeah, I cannot believe I fixed that. I gotta put the reset switch. I'll do that off camera. I've done a lot of more important work on camera. These little things don't really matter. Okay, so now we can apply the heatsink. Well, that's good. So I ordered this off AliExpress. It's supposed to be a replacement shell for the Super Nintendo, and it's color red. So I was gonna replace the shell with a fancy new red one. That's it. Let's see how this looks. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. It'll probably last like 2 days and crack all over the place, but so far it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna put that one chip in this. Come on. Oh, here we go. What's in here? We got this. Alright, let's get to assembling. Let's assemble this quickly. It's not hard to assemble. A Super Nintendo, like a little puzzle. I'm not actually going to cover the chips with the plate because I find that to be ugly. I'm just going to leave it open like this. Now some people say it's going to cause interference. Not really. Okay, there was a spring tensioner here. Now this shell doesn't come with these springs, and apparently these white pieces that go on the top shell for the power and reset. So you have to keep those from your previous Okay, so let me see. I forgot how to do this. Oh, I need this. This goes across. Then this goes like that. It's not bad. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Okay, I think the bottom is assembled. I don't think I'm missing anything. So now let's go to, oh yeah, I gotta put this, but I'm gonna do that last. So let's do the top shell. Now I can take this. Yeah, it's becoming second nature again. Take this with my middle finger, I hold it and then push it through the little spot there, and then it should hold in place. Okay, so now we turn it over. Doesn't look bad at all. And we got this and this. So one, how does it go before I click it into place? This one goes like this. So then I got it. This is the reset switch. I guess I could place it in. Reset and power. Uh-oh. What's going on? I do not want to break this. Alright, oof. It's giving me a little heart attack there. So now we got these little stickers, right? Let's say power. See if I could get this correct. Oop. I know this thing doesn't look that great. Power. I hope that's level. Doesn't look too bad. Let me see. Doesn't look bad. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I didn't even see these. I forgot to put these screws in. That's why the power and reset were having trouble going in, because this was giving. So we had those screws. I had everything assembled. I looked through the clear plastic and saw I was missing screws. I'm like, the good thing this thing was clear. Okay, the last 6 screws. Nice. So now with a little damp towel, I'm gonna go over all this stuff. Now it looks a little wet. I'm not letting it fall into anything, so it's just on the top surface. Once again, I don't want to use alcohol because I don't want it to crack. Because alcohol can make certain kinds of plastic very brittle. So to avoid all that, did I just ruin this plastic already? Oh well. It's a little marks here. You can see it. You can't see it on camera, but you can see it in real life. I must have pressed on it a little too hard. Oh well. Here's how the back looks. I mean, I'm never gonna get all these fingerprints off anyway, so this is as good as it gets. Now I'm gonna go over with the dry cloth and yep. Okay, the console is done. Let's test some games. I actually have to test the Star Fox cartridge because you see it has the extended game. I didn't even do that, so I'm really hoping this works. Oh yeah, okay. So it's working. So now the $1 million question is, what should I do with this console? I don't need it. So I want you guys to post down below what it is that I should do with this console. Because it's working. It looks good. Let's see if I can get the one chip on camera. It's kind of dark here. But yeah, you could barely see it there. One chip 01. So it looks really cool with the... If I would have put the RF shield in that spot, it would have looked more worse than it came out. I think it looks better like that. But yeah, once again, let's take it out. That jack works. I gotta test the reset switch. But let's do one more. It boots up really good. I genuinely, like, I know you guys think I could fix everything, but it's not true. I genuinely had some doubts when I was working on this for hours, and then I just got stubborn and I had just forced myself to try to fix this. Yeah, it passes all the tests. I did sit through this before I actually created the before I put it back in the case, and it did pass everything. It went through the whole thing without problem. So yeah, we're done here. Let me know what I should do with it.